Oh, yay, oh, yay. This Honorable Supreme Court of Tennessee is now in session. The Honorable Justice Jeff Bivens presiding. God save the United States of America, the state of Tennessee, and this honorable court. Justice Bivens.
Thank you, Mr. Hebner. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this special ceremony from the Tennessee Supreme Court as we have a happy day of swearing in new admittees to the Tennessee Bar. We also welcome those friends and family that are viewing us through our YouTube channel. We're glad that you're able to join us and to participate in this ceremony here today. I do always like to remind all of our new admittees, please do remember all these friends and family that have helped you through all these years in getting to the culmination of this point where you will now be truly admitted to practice law in the state of Tennessee. It truly is an honor to do that. We are happy to have you. We look forward to that. And in just a few moments, we'll begin the ceremony with I think we have one who has an individual lawyer moving for their admission. And after that, Mr. Jim Berry, who's the president of the Tennessee Bar Association, will be making the motion on behalf of the other new admittees here today. And we appreciate Mr. Berry's assistance with that. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Mr. Berry and give him an opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the Tennessee Bar Association.
Thank you, Justice Bivens. My name is Jim Berry, and I'm president of the Tennessee Bar Association. This is probably one of the best parts of my job because I get to congratulate you for your accomplishments and welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee. I know many of you have friends and family who have been instrumental in helping you make this journey. And on behalf of the bar, I want to thank them for their sacrifices that made this moment possible. The journey is different for everyone, and what called you to law school and motivated you to do the work and sit for the bar is unique to each person. While our differences will bring strength to the profession, we share an enduring loyalty to the core principles which we define who we are in the profession: civility, respect for the rule of law, and an agreement to hold ourselves to higher standards for the benefits of the public. The practice of law can be difficult, but can also be very rewarding. You're entering the profession at a time of change, and there are going to be opportunities for your leadership and guidance, and I encourage you to embrace those opportunities and help shape the future of our profession. Please know that you are part of a legal family that stretches out across the state of Tennessee, and that we are a caring profession, and we stand ready to assist one another. We're proud of your accomplishments and look forward to you joining our ranks. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Berry, very much. We do. I also want to just add my words on behalf of the court to say congratulations to you. It's an incredible accomplishment. Many of you have done so in part through the COVID times, which makes it even more difficult. But you have made it, and today is a happy day. This is one of those days when everyone is in court and nobody goes home a loser. So we're happy to do that. We're happy to have these ceremonies here today to recognize the accomplishments and to do the finalizing of your admission to the bar. Once we have gone through each individual person for purposes of moving their admission into the bar, please remember that you need to stick around, that we're not finished until we do the oath of office, the oath for new attorneys, and we'll do that at the very end of the ceremony. So at this point, I think we're ready to begin with our introductions and have those moved. So Ms. Thresher, I'll recognize you for purposes of making a motion.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court. Jody Thrasher, I'm a member of the Tennessee Bar, and I would like to introduce Elizabeth Blair Weatherly. Ms. Weatherly graduated from the Atlanta John Marshall School of Law and is a member of Brock and Scott PLLC law firm, and she successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and therefore I move for Ms. Elizabeth Blair Weatherly admission to the practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Ms. Thresher. It's a pleasure for me to grant that motion on behalf of the court. Ms. Weatherly, congratulations. We welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you.
All right, and then we'll move right into Mr. Berry. We'll recognize you for purposes of moving our other admittees this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I'm Jim Berry. I am a member of the Tennessee Bar, and I would like to introduce Emily Adams. She is a graduate of the Arizona State University and the Emory University School of Law. She has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for her admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. It's a pleasure to grant that motion. Ms. Adams, congratulations. We welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Mr. Berry.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Hutton Baker, sorry. He is a graduate of the University of California, Los Angeles, and the Vanderbilt Law School. He has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for his admission before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
I'm pleased to grant that motion, Mr. Berry. Mr. Baker, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Richard Bechtel. He is a graduate of the Shawnee State University and the University of Dayton School of Law. He has successfully completed all the requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Again, on behalf of the court, I'm pleased to grant that motion. Mr. Bechtel, we will welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee and wish you the best.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Brett Harris. He is a graduate of the Arkansas State University and the University of Arkansas at Little Rock School of Law. He has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
We'll grant that motion as well, Mr. Berry. Thank you. Mr. Harris, congratulations to you. We wish you the best in practice of law.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Mr. Berry.
May it please the court. I'd like to introduce Philip Castle. He's a graduate of the University of Iowa College of Law. He has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this court, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Happy to grant that motion as well. Mr. Castle, congratulations to you. We wish you the best in the practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Wesleyan Lakins. He is a graduate of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and the University of Kentucky College of Law. He has successfully completed all requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. We'll grant that motion as well. Mr. Lakins, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Clint Barrett Lee. He is a graduate of the University of Texas at Arlington and UNT Dallas College of Law. He has successfully completed all requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. We'll grant that motion as well. Mr. Lee, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Mr. Berry.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Adair McCauley. She is a graduate of the Michigan State University and DePaul University College of Law. She has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for her admission before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
On behalf of the court, happy to grant that motion as well. Mr. Berry, Ms. McCauley, we welcome you to the practice of law and welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Mitchell Edward McCloy. He is a graduate of Princeton University and the Washington and Lee University School of Law. He has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for his admission before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion. Mr. McCloy, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you, Your Honor and Mr. Berry.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce Hannah Michelle Rule. She is a graduate of the Tennessee State University and the Nashville School of Law. She has successfully completed all requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move her admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion as well. Mr. Berry, Ms. Rule, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the practice law in the state of Tennessee.
May it please the court. I would like to introduce John James Snidow. He is an graduate of Harvard College and Yale Law School. He has successfully completed all requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Pleased to grant that motion. Mr. Snidow, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Snidow, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Berry.
May it please the court, I would like to introduce Stacy Song. She's a graduate of Smith College and the Brooklyn Law School. She has successfully completed all requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move her admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Again, pleased to grant that motion. Ms. Song, congratulations to you, and we welcome you to the Tennessee Bar.
Thank you.
May it please the court, I would like to introduce Ben Storms. He is a graduate of the University of Oregon School of Law. He has successfully completed all requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
What pleasure to grant that motion as well, Mr. Berry. Mr. Storms, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar and wish you the best.
Thank you.
May it please the court, I would like to introduce Giovanni Vaccaro. He is a graduate of St. John Fisher University and the Syracuse University's College of Law. He has successfully completed all requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion as well. Mr. Vaccaro, congratulations to you. We welcome you to the Tennessee Bar and wish you the best.
Thank you.
May it please the court, I would like to introduce Mary Elizabeth Bervatka. She is a graduate of Lord's University and the University of Michigan School of Law. She has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move her admission before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Pleasure to grant that motion as well. And Ms. Bervatka, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you. Congratulations to you. We will welcome you to the Tennessee Bar. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Berry, I think that concludes your duties. The court very much appreciates your assistance in these efforts.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, before we do the actual oath of office, I do want to just take a minute to remind you that being a part of this profession in our state and in our country is a privilege. And with that privilege comes some responsibility. And one of the major responsibilities you do have is that there are so many Tennesseans out there that cannot afford legal assistance. And you have a responsibility to give back to those through pro bono efforts or in other ways. Some of you may be working for legal services providers in any form or fashion. It's vitally important that we reach out, we'd be willing to allow everyone to have access to justice in our state. This court makes access to justice a high priority, and we emphasize that. We strongly encourage pro bono activities, and we ask that you, if you haven't already through your law school efforts, start that immediately and give something back to your community. That's a very important part of having the privilege of practicing law in the state of Tennessee. This time we will move on to our final step today, and that is administering the oath of office to each of you. In a minute, I will have you raise your right hand and just repeat the provisions of the oath after I say them to you. I do, though, want to ask you to focus, as you do, on not just repeating words, but to focus on what some of these words say. Unfortunately, our profession has become a microcosm of our society in some ways over the past years, and that is we've seen civility decline throughout the profession. And that's something that troubles many of us. It's something that we need a concerted effort to bring that civility back to our practice, to bring back treating people well, and to be back. You can be zealous advocates at the same time as being civil and fair and have integrity. So as we go through this oath, I ask that you focus on each of the words that are there and understand that the court has put meaning into those as a result of that. With that in mind, I would ask each of you to raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
Then ask them to unmute.
Yes, please unmute your there we go. Okay, I'm sorry, let's start again. I, and state your name,
I, Ray Adams,
do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
and the Constitution of the State of Tennessee.
in the practice of my profession.
In the practice of my profession,
I will conduct myself with honesty,
I will conduct
present
myself
myself with honesty,
fairness,
fairness,
integrity,
integrity,
and civility
and
civility,
to the best of my skill and abilities.
with my skill and abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You are now officially members of the Tennessee Bar. We congratulate you. We welcome you. Glad to have it. We also are happy for you, those friends and family that have joined us here today. We hope that you will be sure and thank them, and I hope that you have a good rest of the day. And at this time, that concludes our ceremony. And Mr. Hibner, I'll call on you to adjourn court, please.
Congratulations, everyone. This honorable court is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.